How come nobody put a gun to my head?
Dark alleys, broken minds, buckets of blood. These are the films that make you look away, but you can't. Each title on this list crosses a line, sometimes multiple. If you like your cinema extreme, twisted, and totally unfiltered, these are the 10 insanely graphic movies on Prime Video you need to watch, if you dare. Number 10, The Duel.
Abraham frightens me, David.
You are in search of something.
This one's gritty, grimy, and surprisingly twisted for a Western. The Duel starts as your typical revenge tale, Texas Ranger investigating murders in a remote town, but quickly morphs into something far more disturbing. Woody Harrelson is downright chilling as a preacher with a god complex, and Liam Hemsworth plays it cool as a lawman hiding his true mission. The plot? Rich men hunting kidnapped Mexicans for sport. Yeah, it goes there. The setting oozes dread, and the tension builds like a noose tightening with each scene. It's not a perfect film. Pacing and logic take a few hits, but the brutality and eerie tone make it unforgettable. If you're into morally rotten villains, dessert justice, and dusty bloodbaths, The Duel earns its spot on this list. Number 9, open 24 hours.
I told you I was right.
This one's grimy, mean, and soaked in paranoia. Open 24 Hours traps you inside a creepy late-night gas station with a woman who may or may not be losing her mind. Vanessa Grass plays Mary, a newly released ex-con tormented by her serial killer ex, nicknamed the Rain Ripper, who may have escaped prison, or maybe she's just hallucinating him again. The setup is simple, but the execution, brutal. From skull-crushing violence to flaming executions, it doesn't shy away from the red stuff. Sure, it's low budget and a little rough around the edges, but the tension is legit and the kills are nasty. It's the kind of gritty indie horror that hits harder than you'd expect. For fans of rain-soaked dread, slasher brutality, and gas station horror, Open 24 Hours earns its place at number 9. Number 8, Cold Pursuit. Liam Neeson doing revenge in the snow. What more do you need? Cold Pursuit starts out like your typical Neeson action flick. His son is murdered by a drug cartel, and he becomes a snowplow driving angel of death. But this one's weirder than you'd expect. It blends dark humor with ultra-violence and a body count that stacks up like fresh powder. It's a remake of the Norwegian film In Order of Disappearance, and while it doesn't reinvent the wheel, it does grind up gangsters with chilling efficiency. You get shootouts, decapitations, and people getting minced by machinery, all with a deadpan sense of irony. It's brutal, strange, and surprisingly funny in that offbeat European way. For those who like their action slick and sadistic, Cold Pursuit is a solid number 8. Number 7, Midnight. In Midnight, the streets of Seoul turn into a silent battleground. This Korean thriller follows a deaf woman who becomes the target of a sadistic serial killer. But she's no easy prey. Played by Jin Ki-joo, Kyung-mi is clever, resilient, and completely unable to hear her attacker coming. What unfolds is a tense game of cat and mouse in near real time, with suspense amplified by her silence. Wee Ha-jun from Squid Game plays the killer with eerie calm and chilling brutality. This one doesn't rely on jump scares. It builds dread through smart direction, tight pacing, and a brilliant use of sound, or lack thereof. If you're looking for a fresh take on the slasher formula, Midnight is lean, relentless, and loaded with nerve-shredding suspense. A fierce entry at number 7. Number 6, Jungle.
And people are coming to save you.
In Jungle, Daniel Radcliffe sheds the wand and dives deep into a nightmare of raw survival. Based on the real-life story of Yossi Ginsberg, this film thrusts you into the unforgiving heart of the Amazon, where nature isn't just wild, it's brutal. When a dream expedition goes horribly wrong, Yossi is separated from his group and forced to battle hunger, hallucinations, and the sheer chaos of the jungle with no tools, no map, and no backup. This isn't just a survival story, it's a descent into madness, with intense visuals, gut-wrenching moments, and Radcliffe fully committed to the suffering. Jungle doesn't hold back. If you're into visceral, real-life horror with a physical edge, this is one you won't forget. It takes the number 6 spot for a reason. Number 5, You Were Never Really Here.
Where is he?
This isn't your typical hitman thriller. You Were Never Really Here strips violence to its raw psychological core, giving us a hammer-wielding Joaquin Phoenix like you've never seen before. He plays Joe, a haunted veteran who rescues trafficked girls by force. When one rescue goes sideways, he's dragged into a sinister conspiracy that threatens to unravel what little grip he has on reality. Director Lynn Ramsey keeps things razor-tight at just 90 minutes, using silence, trauma, and fractured memory as storytelling weapons. The result is a brutal, dreamlike descent into one man's broken mind, with a pulsing score by Johnny Greenwood and a performance that won Phoenix Best Actor at Cannes. This one is emotionally raw and visually striking, quiet, violent, and unforgettable. Number 4. The Thicket.
The Thicket.
Are you gonna kill me when we get there?
The Thicket is one of those gritty westerns that doesn't play by the rules. Set against the lawless backdrop of the American frontier, this revenge-fueled thriller finds a young man teaming up with a one-eyed bounty hunter, played by Peter Dinklage, a prostitute, and a gravedigger to track down a ruthless gang leader named Cutthroat Bill, played with savage energy by Juliette Lewis. What sets this apart isn't just the unique characters or the Southern Gothic vibe, but the bleak tone and bursts of violence that hit hard and fast. There's a pulpy grindhouse flavor here, but with real performances and a steady directorial hand from Elliot Lester. Brutal, offbeat, and surprisingly stylish, The Thicket delivers a violent tale of justice with a dark, modern twist. Number 3. Project Wolf Hunting. If you thought Con Air was wild, wait until you see Project Wolf Hunting. This South Korean action horror hybrid cranks the gore and chaos to 11. The setup is simple: a cargo ship hauling violent criminals from the Philippines to South Korea. But things go sideways fast when the inmates stage a brutal mutiny. And then, a genetically engineered superhuman starts ripping everyone apart. It's not just bloody, it's a non-stop meat grinder. Director Kim Hong-sun mixes crime thriller, science fiction, and body horror into something that feels like Resident Evil meets The Raid. There's a hidden past, military experiments, and buckets of blood. It's unrelenting, unforgiving, and proudly over the top. If you can stomach extreme violence, Project Wolf Hunting is an insane ride you won't forget. Number 2. Brotherhood of the Wolf. This genre-bending French epic is one of the most stylish cult films of the 2000s. Brotherhood of the Wolf blends period drama, monster horror, martial arts, political intrigue, and even romance. Yes, all of that. Set in 18th century France, the film follows a knight and his Native American companion, played by martial artist Mark Dacascos, as they investigate a series of brutal killings blamed on a mythical beast. What they uncover is far more sinister: secret societies, manipulated fear, and a creature that might not be entirely natural. The direction by Christophe Gans is lush and operatic, with intense fight choreography and lavish production design. It's absurd in the best way, ambitious, mysterious, and unapologetically wild. For fans of Sleepy Hollow, The Witcher, or dark historical thrillers, this is essential viewing. Number 1. Riders of Justice.
Det Emmentaler, vores face recognition expert. Den god til at finde ting.
Don't let the title fool you. Riders of Justice isn't just another revenge flick. It's a brutal, darkly funny, and surprisingly emotional Danish film that flips genre expectations on their head. Mads Mikkelsen plays Marcus, a stoic soldier returning home after a tragic train accident kills his wife. But when a group of eccentric outsiders suggest the crash wasn't accidental, Marcus is pulled into a web of vengeance, coincidence, and chaos. What follows is part action thriller, part absurdist comedy, and part meditation on grief, fate, and forgiveness. Director Anders Thomas Jensen weaves sharp writing with bursts of explosive violence, making for one of the most unique films in recent memory. It's intense, bizarre, and oddly touching, earning its spot as our number 1 most graphic and unforgettable film on Prime Video. And that wraps up our countdown of 10 insanely graphic movies on Prime Video. Films that don't just push the envelope, they tear it to shreds. These aren't casual Friday night picks. They're blood-soaked, brain-bending, and downright disturbing stories that stay with you, whether you want them to or not. Maybe you'll dive into the ultra-violence of Project Wolf Hunting, or get blindsided by the twisted logic of Riders of Justice. Or maybe you're still recovering from the thicket's grim, mud-caked madness. Whichever film got under your skin, let me know in the comments. And if you found a new nightmare to queue up, hit like, tap subscribe, and keep that screen dripping with the unexpected. Until then, keep watching, and I'll see you on the couch.